Hello everyone, here at OS Reviews. You're watching our hands-on review of the Greadio LED Bluetooth speaker. To be honest, Bluetooth speakers are a dime a dozen these days, but this version has a very unique mood lamp that's built on in that has over 6 patterns that you can create for mixing different colors, as well as slowly changing back and forth. It has a very unique acrylic plastic that's shaped like a dome and can be quite attractive if you leave it in the dark, maybe as a bedside lamp when you're not using it for playing back music. It also retails for under $20, which makes it very inexpensive. So the packaging is very simple. Inside we just have the speaker itself. We also have the micro USB cable for charging. It takes about 2 hours to completely charge, and then it can play back music for around 12 hours on a single go, and it can last a little bit longer if you're only using it as lights. And this is showing you how to charge it, how to turn it on, and pair it to a device. Taking a quick look at the speaker next, it has a very interesting handle shape on the top, which is actually pretty useful when you're carrying it around, and it's made out of the soft touch rubber material. The speaker is actually located on the very top. That's where the drivers and the sound comes out from. So it gives you kind of 360 degrees to blast the music from, which is actually pretty promising. And that's because the rest of the body needs to be occupied by all of these lights, as opposed to the speaker. Usually we see the driver of the speaker taking up the side, but on here it's kind of flipped since we need to have the mood lamp function. On the bottom here as well, you'll find all the controls, and they include a power switch, play pause, as well as mode selection for the different lighting effects, and volume skip tracks. There's also a small microphone for picking up your voice if you're answering phone calls. Now, it's not the most convenient design in the world, especially if you're constantly shuffling your music or adjusting the volume. You have to pick it up and then touch these keys. So we've turned it on, and you can definitely use it as a light without playing back music. It just kind of glows in the background. You see a little bit of shaking on the camera. That's just a refresh frame rate issue with the camera. You don't actually see it in person. The acrylic surface makes the light look like it's emanating from inside, and a beautiful process to kind of just observe. The speaker as a whole is also a lot heavier than what I was expecting just picking it up, because I thought it'd be made out of plastic mostly, and it is, but the plastic here is pretty thick along with the soft touch rubber accents on the base and on the top. It's actually quite hefty, so that's actually a sense that it's going to last you a little bit longer. I forgot to mention that on the base there's also the micro USB port for charging and a micro SD card slot if you want to put in some memory cards that are loaded with music. It can play it back directly. This is not a waterproof speaker, however, so I wouldn't submerge it or get it wet because none of the ports are covered up. So there's a touch-sensitive strip that I can use to switch between different types of colors. So for instance, right now we're in this gradient mode. I can swipe here, and now it changes into a more rapidly flashing mode that's more abrupt. I can swipe again to have access to kind of almost a full color, but all the lights are just going downwards, and it's making a random pattern. I can swipe again, but it's probably going to be just one color at the very base of the light. And I can tap once more, and now it's a solid color, which hopefully will slowly go through kind of a rainbow of different effects over time. And then tapping on it again takes us back. So this is actually very easy to control, and the touch strip is very sensitive. It's easy to just tap on it, almost like on a smartphone, for it to go through the different patterns. If we kind of dim the lights here very quickly, you can see that the effect is a bit more prominent, especially in the dark. It makes for a very mesmerizing kind of light show effect. It's not quite bright enough to be used as a reading lamp, also because you can't change the lights into a white color, which is probably the only mode that's missing, but the auto transition effects are pretty cool. Now the music does not get synced to the lights per se, but you can still have a pretty interesting display of both lights and music at the same time. So at only about 50% volume in that quick sample test here, you can hear how the speaker already sounds quite loud and clear. I was actually quite impressed with the audio performance because I thought it would mostly be focused on the lights and kind of a gimmick when it comes to the sound, but it actually does sound pretty good, especially with the bass, and there's a good thump in the lower frequencies with the beats of EDM music. So I think that you definitely will be impressed with the overall audio quality for something that's so inexpensive. And if you're pairing it with a phone, it will definitely improve the audio experience, especially when you're sharing music for parties, with friends, also for watching movies. It's also going to bring that sound to life. So you can check out more details about this in the links down below, but overall I would say that this is definitely a pretty unique Bluetooth speaker if you want something that's also a nice mood lamp that has a number of different patterns and modes that are easy to control using just the touch strip on the very top. And sound quality is also going to be better than expected. Sure, it's not an audiophile grade speaker by any stretch, but as a whole for only $20, I think that this is definitely something that's worth a closer look if you're looking for an interesting Bluetooth speaker that also serves as a mood lamp. Thanks for watching this video here at OS Reviews.